Was it good just to kind of keep Tyrese, like, at 29 minutes tonight? Like, when considering all the minutes he's played this year.
Yep. Sure was. We had a good, I think, chance to kind of trim down everybody there a lot more than we probably anticipated. So good all around, but especially good for him.
Not playing the fourth quarter at all obviously helps that, but it seemed like in the first half even he came out a little earlier than usual. In the first quarter, he sat the last 4 minutes of the second quarter aside from that last possession. Were you coming into this game after the 52 minutes the other night, like trying to get his minutes down?
Nope. I just felt like, for whatever reason, after the game started, I thought we started really good, first 4 or 5 possessions, and all of a sudden, like, I thought the entire team looked tired. That something just hit them and they couldn't. So I just started tried to start to move everybody in and out, and they did snap out of it. I mean, we just couldn't even keep up there for about a 5-minute stretch, and then I think we got our legs underneath us and finally got going, and then we were playing pretty well and had a double-digit lead, so we were able to kind of keep moving a little bit with the subbing. Yeah.
Tyrese minutes have been a bit hit or miss throughout the year. When you have guys going the way that like Jared was, and even VJ had a nice all-around game without scoring a ton, do you feel more compelled to like try to bank a few more minutes of Tyrese resting because
Absolutely.
of the workload he's had this year?
Absolutely, and I think that's where we're trying to get to, right? I think that we know McCain can provide some scoring load help. I think VJ should. He's going to learn his way to provide some scoring load help. And again, I think it's just some other guys that, like I believe they can do some things to score, and they just need some experiences in doing it, right? So, it'd be nice to be able to kind of run a bunch of different stuff and keep the ball moving and see where the ball sprays. And I thought that's kind of what happened in the second. We had a bunch of different guys taking shots, a bunch of different guys taking drives. And that's what we're trying to do, to get those guys going a little bit.
Tyrese is he's trailing Iverson and Will Chamberlain for third in the 20-game start in scoring in franchise history. Can you put into context, just kind of how good this start of the season has been for him and what he's been able to do?
I mean, obviously that's awesome, considering the names you mentioned and the other names that have been here, like the storied history of this program. It's like amazing to get in those kind of conversations. And I think that whenever I kind of start thinking, geez, is he going to be able to continue to do that? I mean, and then he just goes out and makes 6 or 7 possessions look like, I'm going to do whatever I want here. I'm going to either shoot the three, or I'm going to drive by, or I'm going to hit a floater. And he just moving himself all over the court and getting himself clearance to shoot. And then you think, he could, like I keep saying, Gina, he should shoot more. If he can get the space and he's that good, he should do it more. And I think that's the big thing. And that's pretty many tonight. What do you get? 26 rips tonight. That's pretty good. That's a good number, Gina.
Jabari Walker off the bench tonight, double-double.
Yep.
I guess what was most successful for him to have that impact, and I guess especially after that he was sort of the guy squeezed out of the rotation the other night.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, I think that for me, I'm really asking him quite frequently to take those threes. He's a good shooter. Like, his numbers and things that he charts, and like, they're really high. And but again, you got to have the feel of meaningful games, of just to get the confidence to pull the trigger. We're really working on him to get him to take those. It was great to see him get some off tonight, because again, I think if he'll just get to a stage where he can process it a little sooner, that he knows he's open as the ball's in the air coming to him, and take a few more, he's going to make a bunch. And again, he snaps rebounds down, man. You guys see it. He snaps them down, and he just has a knack for it. Yeah.
Without prominent, Quentin and Tyrese have been in the rotation. Tonight's probably the first time we got VJ and Jared in the backcourt, and that's it. So I guess, what did you think of how they look together, and what do you like about those two as a pairing in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the first time you had to be fairly happy with it tonight. I think it needs more time for sure. I mean, I think there's a scenario where I mean, if we got all 4 of those guys healthy, right? I think there's a scenario where 3 of them are on the floor a lot together. So that means, and it could be any one of the 4 off. So I think that pairing there needs to be there. So, and again, I think we've tried to. I mean, I think when we came into this thing this year, we're hoping to have those 4 guys. It's kind of part of the reason we spread the floor out and we're moving the ball a lot more and we're trying to get them to play downhill and off the catch and all that stuff. We just haven't quite got to it yet. There's glimpses of it. You even saw glimpses of it tonight. We just spread them out and they go back and forth and we move the pieces a little bit and then boom, one of them's down the lane and I hope they make a good decision. They either take it forcefully to the rim or they just kick it out and to a shooter or start it all over again. So they need the time out there together, and tonight was a good night to look at it. I hope we can get some more chances at it here because I think we need the reps.
Barlow in the Atlanta game did a really good job of sort of getting back to the shooter when they made the pass out, and kind of they tried to stretch him, but he couldn't do it. And tonight it was a lot of like him just making the right rotations and whatnot, and fighting through screens. I guess how does his ability, his length, and his athleticism sort of inform what you think he can do against like high-level offensive players?
He's got 2 really good qualities. One, he really knows what he's doing. Like he understands rotations and anticipates where it's going next. Like he understands the schemes, like which is amazing, right? And then he plays really hard. He just never really gives up on plays, and it's a good combination for a defensive guy that can help you.
The game winds up being lopsided, but there was a stretch in the third. To start the third, it was teetering a little bit. VJ had that stretch where he made a bunch of, hustle winning plays.
Yeah.
Just how big was that stretch just to kind of get you guys right?
It was huge, and I remember saying in about 3 timeouts in a row, this is still about like making these hustle plays. It's about playing harder than them and running down loose balls and jarring the ball loose and all that stuff. So he kind of started it, and then I think it was a good theme to stay with for the rest of the, third and fourth. Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome. See ya.